Well, the Keystone Pipeline is at the top of the to-do list when the new Republican-led Congress convenes next week. Incoming Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has promised to make the bill his first order of business. And now word that the Energy and Natural Resources Committee will hold a hearing on the project just after the new year. Katie Pavlich is news editor for townhall.com and a Fox News contributor. Katie, great to see you. It appears to me that just getting Keystone back on the table is a sign that Mitch McConnell intends to live up to his promises.
Yeah, you know, after the Senate was turned over to Republicans in November and that landslide victory for them, Mitch McConnell made a lot of promises, and one of them was to put Keystone Pipeline back on the table first thing in the new Congress, and it looks like that is going to happen. You have to remember that in November, the Senate took a vote on Keystone, and it only failed to get that 60-vote threshold by one vote. And now, of course, he has 9 new Republican seats, and all the Democrats who lost their votes, who voted against Keystone, are now going to be converted into yes votes for that bill. And of course, Mitch McConnell is still going to be able to keep those Democrats like Joe Manchin and Mark Warner of Virginia who voted for it in the first place, meaning they're going to get it over that 60-vote threshold and hopefully to President Obama's desk.
And if it gets to President Obama's desk, Katie, the next thing is, do you get the 67 you need to override the veto if in fact he does pull out the pen and veto Keystone?
It's going to be very difficult for Republicans, despite their new majority, to get to that 67-vote threshold to override the veto. But you have to take a look at what President Obama has done in the past couple of months on Keystone. He hasn't issued a full-out veto threat, and the president hasn't been shy about issuing veto threats on issues that he disagrees with. Now, you know, he's been citing that the 42,000 temporary jobs aren't significant enough in order to sign it into law. He's been citing state, you know, he's ignoring his State Department in the sense that they've said this is a clean way to get energy from Canada down to the United States. So we'll have to see where he goes on that. But it is going to be difficult for Republicans to override that veto. But I don't think it's going to be necessary at this time.
Do you get the feeling, Katie, that with gas prices at $2.50 a gallon and dropping and the oil prices dropping, that the urgency to get this Keystone thing back on the front burner has been kind of lessened a little bit?
No, I really don't think so. You know, Keystone has been in the works for years. It's been very frustrating for people who are in that industry and for people who are unemployed who want to be working on that pipeline to get it done. I mean, there's never a bad time to add $3.7 billion to the economy as Keystone would do. So I think it's good that Mitch McConnell is putting it back on the table. And, you know, it also does something good politically for him in the sense that he's been saying he wants to bring Democrats to the table and pass things that Democrats and Republicans can agree on. And he's going to make good on that promise if you can get those votes and get it over that 60-vote threshold come January.
It also benefits him because we're talking about maybe 42,000 temporary jobs if this thing, you know, gets off the ground, right?
Yep, absolutely. And you know, there's a lot of voters who wanted Republicans to get into office to get things done, and I think that Mitch McConnell is proving to them that their votes really count and that they're going to do everything they can to get the things that have been stalled in the Senate and not taken to the White House because of Harry Reid being there back on the table and back and moving.